On IMDb, DZiggyRM says Inside Out is a psychological freak show, wholly inappropriate for children. What in the hell was that? More importantly, what has happened to Disney? The movie is a reflection of a society whose kids and parents are medicated and going to endless therapy. Do not take children to this movie. Walt Disney is surely rolling in his grave watching this tripe. Compare Snow White and Cinderella to this thing. Egad! Disney should fire whoever created this movie and somehow try to rediscover its roots, producing wholesome, non-psychotic movies. Worst kids movie I've ever seen since the last Minions move, which was likewise offensive and mindless. Why child needs to know about subconscious nightmares and scary clowns? What happened to Dumbo and the long legacy of Disney classic? Inside Out is a movie with little socially redeeming value. 1 star.
The clown in this movie is nowhere near as scary as like all the movies that he mentioned.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that. In fact, I wrote down Dumbo donkeys because that was literally far more nightmare fuel. I'm sorry, I probably jumped in too early, but that was infinitely way more nightmare fuel than the 30 seconds of clown that we saw in this movie or whatever.
Yeah. The forest in Snow White, terrifying.
Yeah.
They want the wholesome Disney films where men kiss sleeping women.
Yeah,
exactly.
7 little people
and you couldn't
share
do
a
that
woman.
in this one because she was a child, so it was very upsetting.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to the Royds Review Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Andy.
We are the Royds, joined today with very funny comedian Tom DeCillis on the program. Tom, thanks for being here.
Yeah, what's going on? That was that review was wild. The classic. I mean, I think that this person who wrote the review missed out because Anger is clearly everyone's favorite Disney princess, and I think that's what he thought the movie was missing.
Yeah. Louis Black voiced the greatest Disney princess of all time.
Exactly.
And Louis Black as Cinderella. I lost my shoe!
Yeah, exactly.
So Tom is a very funny comedian from Long Island, New York, just like Andy and I. And he is joining us today to talk about Inside Out from the year of our Megasword 2015. Tom, tell the audience, what is your Instagram handle? Tell them all your socials, actually, not just...
Sure. Instagram handle is at Tom DeCillis Comedy. It's probably the main one I use. Twitter is T DeCillis T DeCillis Comedy. And my Facebook page, don't worry about because I can't access it because I got permanently banned one day and I can't access it. So don't worry about that one.
Okay, what'd you do? Now we have to know.
So I'll try to do this without spoiling the bit. So I do a bit about how it's weird because of the time he was born and the time he lived that Captain America in the modern movies is not slightly racist. Like, doesn't say anything. So I think I used the bit to promote some shows I was headlining in the country, and because I think it had the word racist in it and I was using it in a paid ad, naturally, because no one works at Facebook anymore. There's like literally not a single human works for Facebook. People work for Meta, but not Facebook.
Well, that's because a human didn't invent it.
Right, exactly. So, so I think the algorithm picked that up and just went, oh, clearly this is an ad for something racist. And they gave me like because I didn't really think about it at first. And they were just like, hey, stop what you're doing or you're going to get banned. And I was like, I will. What am I doing? Because I didn't think about it. And then like the next day, every photo, message, comment, like even in messages, like Messenger, any message I sent was erased. Like everything. And then they put it in 8 zip files and just sent it to me. So I was able to make a new personal Facebook just to like but like I can't get to my comedy page, so I don't know. It's just gonna sit there forever and die.
Wow.
The weird thing is I was in a band previously, so I think what's gonna happen is another like literally within a few hours of my Facebook getting taken down, a different company just like absorbed our old band Facebook page, and just it's like a shop now. Like it's just the weirdest thing ever. We don't know what happened, so yeah, I don't know what's going on, but that's not really it was just a weird situation. So yeah, Instagram. Go to Instagram.
All right.
I always love when stories peter out like that.
Yeah, it was just like there's nothing more for this story. Like it's gone. It was fine. Nothing became of it. But yeah, that's me.
In short, the robots are taking over, you know?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
So Tom, we want to give our audience a chance to know you. Is it cool if we ask you a few questions?
By all means, fire away.
Andy, you want to go first?
No, you go, Robbie.
Okay.
You don't
Tom,
put this on me.
As a comedian, what's something that you think comedians should stop joking about?
Huh. I think a lot of it for me is like a pet peeve I get is extremely regional comedy. Like if you're a city comic and all you do is joke about the subway, like stop. Like, you know, when congratulations, you can perform within a 15-mile radius, and everywhere else your act is completely useless. And then the same goes, like, we see that here on Long Island. It's like, oh, can you believe the southern state? And it's like, cool. Like, I won't name a few, but I can name a few. That it's like, congratulations, you are trying to make a career surviving, entertaining the same strip of land for 40 years. And yeah, so I think that's where I'm just like, stop, write other stuff, write better stuff.
That reminds me of, you've heard the story, and Seinfeld even did a bit about this, where Seinfeld went to Australia and did a bit about, I think it was Pop-Tarts.
Sure.
And he was wondering why the crowd wasn't reacting, and the crowd was like, because we don't eat Pop-Tarts. We have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's like even more extreme because like that's a different country, which it's like not every comic is going to go tour other countries. So I feel like that's where you can, like, you know, I'm not going to tell someone like, well, if you can't take that to, you know,
Australia.
Australia. You can't go to freaking Albania with that whatever joke. But like it's, yeah, I think for me it's like when you're so regional and it's like that's so lame. Start a Instagram page, like a local page, or be a radio host. I don't know. It's a weird one. But yeah, that's me. For sure.
That was a good answer.
Thanks.
Nice. What are your top 3 favorite bands or musical artists?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I grew up playing bass, so I feel like I don't listen to them as much anymore, but I was a big Red Hot Chili Peppers person growing up. Naturally, like as a bass player. First, when I started playing bass, I was listening to like Blink-182 and pop punk, which I like, but I was just like, wow, this is the lamest instrument in this genre. So that was great. Envy on the Coast is actually a band from Long Island. They were a big one for me. And let's see, who else can I fluctuate a lot. And then Dance Gavin Dance is another band I really like, even though it's an uphill battle being a fan of that band, because like there's always something wrong, like someone is in rehab or the singer got kicked out. Like they've gone through like 3 or 4 different singers at this point, so they would say that it's an uphill battle being a Dance Gavin Dance fan. But yeah, so we'll go with those 3.
My wife listens to Dance Gavin Dance, and I am I'm into some of it, you know. I think it's very math rocky at times, and sometimes I'm like, I actually don't. I stop at long division, so I'm a little lost here.
They actually, that band created its own genre of music. Like the guitar player, he's a little bigger dude, darker complexion. His name's Will Swan. and they call that genre swancore because like all of these other bands kind of stem from it because it's like all of these very like melodic, intense like guitar parts of just like the way their songs are structured and played became its own slight genre. And he has his own label, and a lot of the bands that are signed to that label are like swancore bands, so it's kind of interesting.
Very interesting.
Very, very talented guitarist.
Every single member is crazy. I mean, the singers, all
Singer's
9 of
crazy.
them.
The bass player was really good. The bass player passed away like last year. Like, this is what I mean. It's like
just a tragic path.
Yeah, like the bass player passed away. The year before that, the drummer was in rehab. The singer just got back from almost getting Me Too'd. Like he couldn't perform for a while. They found out that at least majority of the stories that were on Reddit of him quote unquote Me Too'ing people were like fallacies too. So like he's back now. It's like I don't know what's gonna happen next year. It's always fun to find out what's gonna happen and if you're gonna.
That dude's vocal range is crazy.
Oh, he's wild. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, he's almost as good as me. Anyway, Robbie, you got another question? Oh, also the Royds, right? They would be number 4.
Oh yeah, the Royds. The Royds are number 4.
Yeah,
Good
for
answer.
sure. Yeah.
What would you say is more important for a society, arts or sports?
Not sports. Arts. I was like sports. I would say arts. I'm not really a sports guy.
Amen, brother.
Yeah. I mean, I think sports have like merit and stuff and do that, but I don't know. I've always been in the arts, music, comedy.
Okay.
Except I can't draw for shit, but I'm impressed when people can do it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Top 3 favorite comedians.
Okay, let's think. I was a big fan of, Bill Burr. Brian Regan is actually probably my all-time favorite, and Gary Goldman.
Very cool. Very cool.
Tom, would you rather be a registered sex offender or in prison for the rest of your life? Now, I want to stress something, because everyone asks this. In these scenarios, you did not commit either of these crimes. You are wrongly convicted, but for whatever reason, you've lost all your appeals.
Real quick, thank you so much for listening. If you want to send us some feedback, send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. That's ROYDSREVUE@gmail.com.
You could also find our music on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your music, by searching The Royds. That's ROYDS. We have 2 albums and a Christmas song. Hope you like it.
This is tough. I don't want to be a registered sex offender, but at least I can. I'm sorry, this is the way my brain works. I'm going to ask follow-up questions. Am I allowed to change my name?
That's tough for registered sex offenders. Some of them are allowed to do that. Some of them are not.
Robbie knows from experience.
Okay, good to know. I forgot. His name used to be Jeff. I totally forgot about that.
His name used to be Hall Roberts.
That's something you'd have to work out in the courts.
Okay. As much as I'd hate to say it, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in prison. I would probably have to go with wrongfully accused, and I'm just putting that in front because you said wrongfully accused sex offender.
All right, so I'm going to put Tom on the list as a registered sex offender.
Okay, yeah.
I'm keeping the list of all the guests I asked this of.
Okay. How many? What's the over under or whatever the hell? I don't, like I said, I don't watch sports. I just know that's a thing people say.
It's very close.
Okay.
It's surprisingly close. A lot of people don't want the label of sex offender, and they're like, "No, fuck it, I'll spend my life in prison." And then I tell them anyway, "Well, you're in prison for a sex crime." So, so they're not enjoying their life. But I tell them that after the fact. So fuck them, right?
Okay, so I feel like I made the right choice because in totally prison for a sex crime, I might end up being a victim of a sex offense.
Yeah. And your CO is going to look the other way, brother.
Yeah.
I guess that's the irony of sex offending is like you do sex offense, you go to prison, and you get sex offended. You know?
Yes. I love how we're using technical legal jargon.
Poetic justice.
Sex offensed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tom, what is your favorite basic need?
Basic need.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm trying to think if it's water, sleep, or masturbation. I'm just really trying to think about this.
You're missing a big one, man.
Food,
Food, man. You need food.
That was the
You need oxygen too.
No, honestly, I get real fucked up if I don't get. I know all of those things are basic needs, but sleep is a basic need. You will go insane. You will die. I think it's gonna be sleep. I had insomnia for a few years when I was in college, and it is a nightmare. So I'll go with sleep.
Great choice.
Lock into my answer.
Well, we've done it.
We got to know Tom.
Hey.
He's a registered sex offender who likes to sleep.
And he loves Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy. I think I said it before, but what year did Inside Out come out?
Oh, we're doing a movie? I wrote a song about Tom.
Oh, shit. That's not good.
Shitty song.
I wrote a movie about that episode of The Simpsons that ends with the fog that turns people inside out.
Interesting. We both fucked up, huh?
Yeah, we goofed.
Wow. All right. Well, Inside Out came out in the year of our Megazord, 2015.
Wowza. That was 9 fucking years ago, by the way.
Oh, disgusting.
Wanna vomit?
I saw this in theaters with my wife, and she was my girlfriend at the time.
Wow.
You know what's really funny about that? I also saw this movie in theaters with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I saw this on my couch with my girlfriend, who is still my girlfriend. Isn't that fucking crazy?
It's not as crazy.
Ago.
Yeah, she doesn't love that fact.
Inside Out was number 7 in the worldwide box office with $857 million. Next was Spectre, a future episode, because it's James Bond.
Yeah, in a billion years.
Yep. And then number 5 was Minions with $1 billion. That's why they keep making those.
Filet minions.
Very good. Avengers Age of Ultron is number 4 with $1.4 billion.
Age of Sultron. He's like, I'm sorry, Avengers. I dropped my pencil.
Furious 7 was number 3 with $1.5 billion.
I tell my wife I'll give her a Furious 7.
Wow. Wow. Lucky you, Robbie. Jurassic World, previous episode, check it out, was number 2 with $1.6 billion. And number 1 was Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, with $2 billion.
That's also a future episode.
Also a future episode, yeah.
Probably much sooner than Spectre.
Almost certainly.
Brutal episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ready to talk about Inside Out?
Yes.
I'm ready.
Inside Doubt? Inside Bout? How are these?
They're okay.
All right.
You're definitely saying them.
Yep. We open up.
Rhyme.
That's most of my jokes.
Cool.
We open up with a voiceover from Amy Poehler. She's great in this.
Yeah.
I think everybody's great in this.
I agree. But she's doing some great voice work here. We see a baby, and then we finally meet joy in the first core memory, and then we meet sadness. Flash forward a few years, Riley's a toddler. She's gained all these emotions. She hates broccoli. I have a question for you guys. I've always liked broccoli, even as a kid. Your thoughts?
I didn't like broccoli until I was like 18.
I probably didn't like broccoli until later. What's funny about this is relevant to one of my trivia questions. Should I hold it or should I just sling it right here, right now?
Hold that shit.
Hold that shit. All right, I will.
Yeah.
Broccoli. I feel like growing up, I had broccoli mixed in with good shit, like like a casserole or like a mac and cheese kind of. And I don't know, but like you know what I mean. Like it was always blended. I feel like I didn't eat too much plain broccoli, but I feel like I've been pretty indifferent about it. But yeah, she hates it in this. It's like it's gross.
Yeah, she's being kind of a bitch about it, right?
A little bit. You gotta eat your broccoli.
She's a toddler, bro.
Oh, my bad.
Growing up, I ate broccoli all the time, and I loved spinach too. I used to bring spinach as a snack to preschool, and all the kids thought I was weird.
I mean, a little weird, but
it's a pretty weird thing to do, man.
Yeah, but I got my fiber, and my shits were good. I was regular, baby.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was a regular baby.
Nice, like a soft served ice cream machine in the morning.
I actually think that's the opposite. That's what the other kids were doing.
We see Riley learning to play hockey. She falls over. Here's a question. Why isn't this child wearing a helmet? This is a toddler ice skating.
That's Minnesota, baby.
That girl has CTE before the age of 5.
Puts hair on your peaches.
Yeah, bad parenting here for sure. You'd think like maybe there'd be emotion for that. The neglect emotion.
Well, we get more bad parenting because right after Joy introduces us to the Islands of Personality, we see that this toddler somehow got her hands on an actual hammer.
Yeah.
Because she like smashed something up. Yo, we gotta call CPS.
Yeah. Dangerous.
Very dangerous. Inside shout?
Inside doubt.
I really like the music in this, and this is when I start to notice this. The music's by the great Michael Giacchino, whatever you pronounce his name, as I offensively say it.
Excellent accent, Robbie.
Thank you. Well, he was the same guy. He did the music for, I believe, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. He also directed Werewolf by Night.
Interesting.
Very talented director. He's a great music. I think he also did the music for the Batman.
Nice.
He's a really good composer, and I think the music in this is excellent. I actually listened to the soundtrack at work the day after I watched the movie.
It's very, very whimsical. I like it.
Yeah, it's good. I felt like everything blended really nicely with the music. What do you, real quick question wise, what emotion do you think was your first emotion? Because it starts off with joy. Hers is joy. See, I feel like right away I was like, probably fear. I have a lot of anxiety, and I was like, that was probably my first emotion. And then I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to feel this way all the time. But I was curious with you guys, like, what do you think was your kickoff emotion?
I would say mine was definitely joy. And I say that because I was one of those kids who never cried.
All right.
And it became actually a medical issue for the doctors because they diagnosed me with a double ear infection, and they had no idea because I wasn't crying or showing any signs of pain.
Wow.
And they're like, hey, I think this baby is an idiot. Like he's not processing pain.
See, I would be, as a parent, I'd be like, I need to figure something out because this is like some serial killer or something. Like, I don't know. There's not feeling pain is a little scary.
Like, I do feel pain. I need to stress, like, because that's an actual medical condition people have where they don't feel pain.
Yeah. But like, you weren't like unbreakable.
Yeah. But like, for whatever reason, as a baby, like, I just didn't cry.
Wow. That's why you like the broccoli.
Yeah.
Like, he's eating it, so.
Listen, I ate whatever my Irish mother cooked. And let me tell you something. A lot of time, it was just a boiled piece of vegetable or meat.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, yeah, I think joy was definitely my first emotion.
I think joy was probably mine just because my dad always tells me how, like, when I was born, they, like, clean you off, and then they handed me to my dad, and then he was like, you immediately just smiled. And I was like,
oh, that's
nice.
Precious.
Yeah, how sweet. And then he said, and then I fucking spiked you like a football.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, Dad, Jesus Christ. I'm lucky I made it.
Well, I also think it was because my first words were "I love you."
Wow.
Damn, what happened to you? You're so cynical and dark now. I've seen your act.
I'll tell a true story about my father that he's gonna hate that I tell this on the podcast because it reveals that he's just a big mush. But he worked nights when I was a baby, like really young. And then, so he'd get home and my mom would go to work during the day. And my dad would just sit there with me like I was a fucking parrot going, "I love you. I love you." So I just mimicked it. Like I didn't know what I was saying. I was just mimicking it. And as the story goes, because obviously I don't remember this is the story from my parents' perspective, is I would only say it to him because I was just mimicking him.
That's funny. So he just did it to fuck with your mom and just be like, "Look,
Yeah.
sorry,
Basically,
I'm the favorite."
Yeah.
That's something he does to this day because every Christmas he gives my brother and I a troll gift that he knows that'll make my mom go, "Why do you got to do this?"
That's so fun. Okay,
Nice.
now I know. So your dad put you in a good spot and then also taught you how to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, like my dad, when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, he knew it would make my mom like wince if he gave us a Ruth Bader Ginsburg calendar for Christmas. And so that's the first gift he handed us on Christmas morning was a Ruth Bader Ginsburg calendar that I never opened because I had no use for it.
Does it have, I feel like I want to know, like, does it have like pinnacle points in her life? Like on this, like on February 12th, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you know, it was like February 12th in 1740, whatever the hell she was born. She's super, or was super old. Like,
I don't think so. I think it's one of those like new age cool things because it's called the Notorious RGB or whatever.
So it's not like her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just like, isn't
it's
she
not like
cool?
It's not like a firefighter pinup calendar.
No.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
I certainly hope
Not her in their younger ages. Like, I mean.
Yeah, now. Yeah.
Ruth Bader
As a
Ginsburg
corpse.
under the robes.
So I feel like this movie is a return to form for Pixar because I think they had a couple slip ups before this. You know, they had like an incredible track record for a while, and then they put out some, some stinkers here and there.
Was this right after The Good Dinosaur or something like that?
I believe so.
I didn't see that one.
Because
I mean,
they'd
No
also
one
had
did,
like,
I guess.
they also had like Meet the Robinsons, I think, right? That was them.
No, I think that's just Disney. That's not
just
Pixar.
Disney. Okay.
Was that Disney?
I don't know the
know.
difference.
There is a
Something about
difference.
Pixar. I don't feel like, I think Pixar always seems to do a pretty good job in my mind. I mean, once I see that classic lamp jump into screen, I feel like I'm in for at least a good time.
Yeah, I don't think they have bad movies. I think they're just like not up to, like, they set up a bar so high
Yeah.
for like 15 years, and then they put out like some decent movies, and people were like, "Boo!"
This is only okay.
People
Yeah.
have issues with every single, like, there are some where I'm like, oh, this is like so wholesome, and they're like, clearly this is a racist movie because all of these characters are like one color or something. Like,
Wait, which movie was that?
Relax.
I think maybe it wasn't Pixar. There was Soul. People thought Soul was like,
That's stupid.
That's Pixar.
yeah, very
Yeah.
stupid. I remember seeing stuff like I, kind of like how you looked up that ridiculous review about this one. But I thought that this one overall is interesting with like the whole aspect of core memories. It starts to make you think like, what are my core memories and stuff like that, and like what would the inside of my head look? I mean, it's probably real bad in there, but like like
I picture for myself, like, you remember in SpongeBob where all he knows is fine dining and breathing.
yeah.
Like,
Oh my
like,
God, we forgot his name.
yeah, we threw out his name. That's what I feel like the inside of my mind is constantly in panic like that.
Yeah, like for me, like the forgetful emotion just keeps taking control of the board, and everyone's like, "Will you fucking stop?"
Yeah. Well, they have that scene with the dad where the mom's like trying to get him to engage with with the family discussion.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah, yeah.
just like reliving a hockey game.
Yeah. They're
And
watching
like,
yeah.
yeah, and like I am guilty of that. It's not hockey, but like I'll think about like like what if you could fly, but you were also afraid of heights? Like what would happen? Like that's like
Hmm.
double-edged sword. And then like my wife would be like, "What are we doing about this kitchen fire?" And I'm like, "Huh? What?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In my head, I imagine there's just one man with a red button, and every day he just gets a little closer to pressing it.
Sure.
He
That
doesn't
like
quite know what it does, but he's
I
going
know
to find out.
Yeah.
we're like skipping leaps and bounds, but like at the end of this movie, they kind of set you up with like the like puberty button. But I think like once you hit the adult, the puberty button just becomes like the suicide.
Yeah.
It's like
It's the next
you
milestone.
hit a certain age, and it's just like, just in case, we're gonna put this one here.
Yeah, after the puberty button, it's the 13th reason button.
Yeah. I found that the beginning of this movie, like the first 15 minutes, is like pretty intense world building.
Oh, yeah.
And like
Yeah.
I teach second grade, and last year I put this on for my kids, and they were like, what's going on? And I was like, okay, I think this is maybe like a third, fourth grade movie.
It's too
Because
deep.
like, yeah, they were like, where are they? Okay, they don't understand.
Subconscious, baby.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I kind of have to give to this reviewer is, well, it's not inappropriate for kids. It's definitely over the head of a child who's like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely 5, 6, 7, 8. I think like around 9 is where you start to understand like sarcasm and stuff like that. So you can get like more like even they mention abstract thought. Like who's that
Right.
for? Like,
Yeah. But I feel like that's kind of the whole premise of, and I think like it's obvious. And I think in the beginning, it is more straightforward because, I feel like a kid would be like, oh, joy, those are the yellow things. These are happy
Right.
stuff. Like, I feel like it's but then I think as it goes on, it definitely becomes more in depth. And then at the end, when they start like mixing like complex, in my mind, it's like, oh, she's learning complex emotions of
Yeah,
like, oh, I
yeah.
can be angry and happy at the same time. Like for me, like it's like video games where it's like anger, joy, sadness, like
yeah.
all fear, all wrapped into one. I've been playing a lot of Rocket League, and that's kind of been just a lot of those swirly orbs in my brain right now.
I thought you were going to tell us about like you're playing some game with like deep emotional impact.
Nope.
Like
No, I've been playing Rocket
storytelling.
League where I'm like happy when I get I get the goal, but I'm stressed because I'm still just absolute trash at the game. And then I'm
Hard game.
I'm anxious because so for sure, like there's there's so many. When you become an adult, there's just a tie-dye effect of those emotions. So I thought that was like kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Pixar does so well is they make movies for kids that's supposed to speak to them on a level that is more than just look at these pretty colors.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the cute animals. Because we saw it with like Monsters Inc. when the little girl's afraid of the monsters and it's like, oh, you don't have to be scared. There's no monsters under your bed. And then they did it again with Monsters University like 15 years later for that same audience. And they've done the same thing with Inside Out now with the sequel, because this movie is supposed to speak to children who are 11 or 12 years old, and they're confused and they're just learning things. And like in this, Riley at 11 years old moves from Minnesota to San Francisco, and there are kids who go through that, and that must be such a shit experience.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
did either of you ever have to move?
Yes.
I moved, but not that young. I moved when I was like 14, but I stayed. My parents did a lot to get me in the same school district. I
Gotcha.
actually lived you were just talking about how much you hate regional comedy, so let me do some regional Long Island talk for you.
That's fine. No, you're not. It's not going to be funny, so don't worry about
it. When my
better not be.
When my parents separated, I actually lived in Smithtown for almost a year, but I was still going to Wantagh High School.
Oh wow,
damn.
That's a
Woo. And my mom we'd wake up every single morning and we'd leave the house at like 6:15. So we'd get to school on time.
Amazing.
And
did you go? My wife went to MacArthur. Did you go to the other one?
Yeah, I went to Wantagh High School.
Okay, yeah.
She was North Wantagh.
Yep.
North Wantagh, Levittown. Yeah, I grew up South Wantagh.
Nice, cool.
Oh,
See how regional we got? See how not funny that was?
Cool.
Yeah. Robbie and I went to high school. That's where we met. We met in high school.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And so like I did move, but I didn't have this experience of moving to a brand new school, much less a new fucking state, which I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of fucked up like thing it would have done to my brain if I moved away from like my friends and the it can't be easy.
Yeah, especially at the age of like 12, like Riley is like, because I moved from Queens to Wantagh when I was like 6.
Okay, yeah.
So like it didn't really mess me up because
your friends are just who your parents are friends with at that point.
Right. And my brother fucked him up because he's 4 years older than me, and he's still fucking wacky. So fucked him up. But 12 is like I feel like that's the age of like true sentience, where you're like, oh, I'm my own person. You know, like, oh, I like this, but that person doesn't like this. But like we're still friends. It's like, you know, it's like anything before that, you're usually just like, is this fun? No, I don't want it. You know, like it's a very pinnacle age, I feel like.
Well, we see that when Joy just leads the charge in Riley's life for the first 11 years up until that move. And like when we see Riley's parents start to fight once they move, Riley has this idea of, oh, you know what? I'm going to play hockey.
Yeah.
You know, let me start hitting this, crumpled piece of paper around. Let me lighten the mood up a little bit. And her dad,
it works.
Yeah. And her dad's a fucking beast because he picks up both her mom and her.
Yeah. He does not reflect. Those are some small, like, he's one of those, maybe he was in the military or something before. I feel like you see that in like
This guy took
Marines.
out Bin Laden.
Oh my gosh.
Riley's dad was a SEAL.
He plays hockey, and you ever see like hockey players' legs?
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking massive. So yeah, he's probably yoked.
Some thick legs. Yeah.
Yeah, yoked from the waist down.
The dad voiced by the great Kyle MacLachlan.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. There were a lot of really like the voice acting in this whole movie was a pretty stellar cast.
Absolutely.
A lot of
stacked cast.
NBC alum.
Yeah.
Alumnus.
You're good with alum, my guy.
Allegedly, and this was just a brief Google. So apparently, Lewis Black was the only choice for Anger.
Excellent choice.
When they were just like, this is who's gonna play it.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys know who voiced the mom in this?
No,
I forgot.
Diane Lane.
Oh shit! Classic mom in movies.
Classic mom.
That's like all she's doing is mom.
You know
she was
what?
the mom in Jack previous episode.
Yes,
Just one thing I didn't actually, and I might need to rewatch the movie to confirm. Did the mom in this Pixar movie have a dump truck ass?
I didn't notice.
So.
I didn't look.
They
for
broke
it,
the mold
probably.
on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
There was that weird.
Sure.
There was that weird scene where Riley was just staring at her mom's ass. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I was like, I don't like this movie. I'm done.
Well,
because
I don't think
is a pivotal point of a Pixar movie. So I just
yeah, that's
maybe that's why it got a bad review.
Well, Rob, you mentioned that sometimes you don't know the difference between regular Disney and Pixar, but the dump truck is Pixar. Regular ass is Disney.
Yeah,
Dumbo's mom had a dumpy.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, she was an elephant.
Oh, duh. It took me a second.
I love the emotions when they get to the new house and Riley's hating it and Disgust says, I'm starting to envy the dead mouse.
Yeah. That's Mindy Kaling.
Yes. We see Sadness ruin a core memory, and this one we realize, oh, she's gonna fucking ruin everything in this, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, surface level. At first you're like, oh, she's gonna ruin everything, but then at the end, we learn the lesson, and that's great.
Well, here's a question. Questions. Why is she obsessed with touching everything?
Well, I think that's like because like the movie's kind of showing like the emotions are in control of Riley, but I think in reality, obviously, Riley's in control of the emotions because like she's feeling sad,
Right.
and so sadness is like, oh, I'm gonna touch everything because right now Riley's feeling sad.
Yeah.
You know?
They kind of go to hit that too. Like, sad. She goes like, "Oh, she's feeling sad. I feel like I need to take over the controls." And Joy
Yeah.
is like, "Get the fuck away from these controls."
Right.
Like, no sadness. And I think it's like you said, the outside stimulus is making Riley feel sadness, which is driving sadness to react. Like, oh, I need to touch these things, even like the core memory. She's like, this is
Yeah.
no longer a joyful memory because I miss it. So now I am sad. So I need to touch
Exactly.
this and make it sad. So it's like, who knows, like in future years when Riley grows up, it might be Joy's like, you know what, this is no longer sad. We can make this a happy memory again. And I
Right.
think like, yeah, it's very yeah, it's more of like the emotions are supposed to follow what she's feeling. And the premise of the movie is why everything starts to break is because they're trying to like change the outside stimuli and not accept the
Exactly.
fact that this is a sad moment. You're allowed to be sad.
Yeah, like it's okay to be sad. I have a question.
Questions.
We see the emotions feel a wide range of emotion themselves. Does joy and sadness and the rest of them also have emotions in their head?
See, I don't
Whoa.
think we really see that much I think they're pretty honest with what they are, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's all variances, like, because like sometimes even when Joy's like questioning something, it's a hopeful optimism.
Well, when she abandons sadness later in the movie, she's like, I'm sorry. She's not happy about it. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. This like Riley needs to be happy, and she fucks off.
But they're also not in the control room at that point. So I think
That's
things are
true.
kind of going out the window. Because when they're gone, it's literally just disgust, fear, and anger
Yeah.
taking control. And they're just like, and they kind of hit on that. We're like, oh, I'll just try to be joyful. And then
Yeah.
disgust like says something sarcastic and like passive aggressive. And she's like, that's how I say it. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't like Joy. Well, I'm not Joy, or
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's I think that speaks a lot to the point the movie's trying to make is like sometimes when you are like in a slump, like a depression of sorts, you don't feel joy or sadness. You just feel like anything in between. Like I know from experience, like sometimes it's just like I don't feel anything right now. And is that good? Probably not. Right? And I think that's what Riley's going through at a certain point when sadness and joy are absent from the control room.
Inside Kraut.
Okay.
Riley sees her dad fighting with someone about work. All the emotions try to take over. I like this when Riley's mom comes in and she thanks Riley for being so good throughout the move. And you see that pressure get put on Riley right there. Like, you can't break.
Right.
Yeah. Don't be
sucks.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says like, make sure you keep that smile or some shit like that. And it's like,
yeah,
right there. She's like, well, I guess I have to not feel sadness.
Yeah. So then we get the first day of
it's
school.
definitely what parents should always do for their kids. Make sure that you put an immense amount of pressure on them.
Yeah. Just push it down. Just push it down until it erupts and you hurt someone.
Well, honey, if you don't push it down, Daddy and I will get divorced.
Yeah. Not great. Not great. Also not a great soundbite if you think about it.
No.
I mean, what? I'm talking to the two of you.
I know, but
parents are divorced, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, same here. Like, listen, I only know I'm the reason my parents are divorced because I'm the reason they got married.
Wait, I thought you said you had an older brother.
No, he's younger than
No,
me.
Oh, he's younger than
I
you.
have an
Oh,
older
okay.
brother.
Oh, you had the. That's right. You said you had the older brother and
Yes.
moved, and that. Yeah.
I love the first day of school, and Joy's given the instructions, and she forces Sadness into the circle
Yeah.
so the bear can't attack her.
Yeah.
We get the first day of school. Riley is talking about hockey and skating, and then she just starts weeping. She's like, and I'll never do it again. And it's like,
Yep.
Sadness, why are you out of your circle?
Yeah, I like how when they're trying to contain Sadness, Fear is like, "Are we crying?"
Yes.
Oh, shit. Like in front of all these people in this brand new environment.
Oh,
Because
that
that's,
one. Oof. That
that's a
scene
nightmare.
starts cringe. Yeah, you're like, no,
Yeah.
no. Oh God. Like the mortification. Because you know what it's
Yeah.
like when you're a little kid and like when you're a kid, it's hard to control tears and sad.
Yeah.
Like and I mean, I'll admit, like I'm on antidepressants now, so that kind of shoves it down. But like in the past, when that started to take over me, even as a young adult, like I had a hard time fighting back sadness and stuff. And as a child, it's impossible to like contain that.
Yeah,
and then kids are brutal. This was, I guess, middle school. Is that what this technically is, or not middle school yet?
I think 12, you're like 6th or 7th grade.
Yeah, and that's when kids are. All of the fallacies about high school drama are not true, in my opinion. Like middle school is where the core bullying, and that is the hardest part. That is
middle
the hardest
school is
one.
so
In
much worse than high school.
You find like your niche of people that you can lean on. Like if you're clicking with the punk kids or the guy, well, I don't know how it is now because I'm fucking old, but like you at least you have those people to lean on, and you could be like, yeah, fuck these people. But like middle school is when you're all these new faces and you're like, oh, these people are mean.
Yeah. I will never. You'll never catch me teaching middle school.
I taught middle school for 2 years.
You got balls, Robbie.
Let me tell you, they called out everything they didn't like. One time I had a roast plan. I forgot who I was facing, or it might have been just a general roast. And there was a part of me that wanted as like a thing, but I knew I'd get fired. I wanted to show the pictures of all the comedians to my students and have them write the jokes.
Yeah.
And I told that idea to, I forgot who I told it to, but they looked at me and they go, that would be an absolute slaughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would be.
Like it wouldn't even be funny. It would just be the meanest shit. I would just be up there saying the most heinous shit to people.
Like, the kids wrote these. I lighten them up.
I had to tone these down.
Yeah,
mostly because I teach in Harlem and I can't say half those words.
I was.
That would have been. Oh, you should have. You don't even work there anymore. You should have done it.
Like, I know. I would have gotten
last
so
day of
much
class,
trouble.
Brought out the projector or whatever you use in modern ages, and just be like, "Here's every comedian I know. I might face them in roast battles at some point. So we're just gonna roll through this." Yeah,
it's like a slideshow with little facts next to them.
Yeah.
Well, the school I teach in, it's like combination elementary school and middle school, which is a terrible idea. And sometimes we'll see middle schoolers in the hallway, like on the elementary floor. So like I got a 2nd grade class. We're in a line, we're walking, and these middle schoolers pass us and they start like picking on the 2nd graders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what are you doing? They're 8. Jeez. What are you doing?
Right.
And like immediately they all start coming for me. They're like, and like they do that thing. I think it's an internet thing, but they're like, ooh. Like if I say something like snappy to them, I'm like, how old are you? They're like 11, 12, 13. I'm like, they're 8. What are you doing? And they're like, so like, I was like, what? Stop. Don't be the internet.
Right.
Yourself. Okay. And they're like, oh, like they kept, I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'll fucking knock you. I'll punch your skeleton through the back of your head.
All right. Let me tell you something. You said when you tried showing this to your students, they like didn't get it. I tried showing this to my students in 2021, and the minute the imaginary character came on the stage, remember, this is 2021, all of a sudden I'm dealing with a classroom of kids going, bing bong, bing bong.
Fuck your life.
The whole film, the rest of I was like, we're done. We're not finishing the movie tomorrow. Like, because I'm not listening to that the rest of the class. I'm just not.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're watching Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I'm not gonna. The minute he shows up, they learn the name. The rest of them, Bing Bong. I was like, we're done.
And he's got a song, so it's like, damn. Well, you know what? When I saw this in theaters, I cried in the Bing Bong scene.
Oh, his great sacrifice.
Oh my God. I will tear up just fucking talking about it. But like as soon as I saw him in this watch, I was like, I'm gonna fucking cry, and I'm gonna cry hard. I know it. I can fucking feel it. And I cried so fucking hard. I was alone in my house, weeping. Weeping.
Oh no.
But we'll get to that.
So a blue core memory is created of Riley crying in class, and then we see joy and sadness get sucked into a memory tube, and they wind up in long-term memory, and all the personality islands are down. This is when Riley starts to really turn on her parents, because that's when they do take control, and she's sarcastic, she's angry, she's fearful. I like that. She goes, what? Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
And then she gets sent to her room. I really do like the inner workings of the parents' brains. The mom wants to cheat on the dad. The dad wants to innocently watch hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like she goes into a fantasy.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sure that people do that. We're just like, oh, this guy, like, she's just thinking about this hot dude, that guy could have been a total piece of shit. We have no idea about this.
Yeah.
Dude,
I think it's definitely a fantasy, like you said, because later on, some other woman imagines this
same
guy.
person.
Yeah, and it's the same exact guy. So I'm like, this must be like a TV character that the mom's just dreaming about.
I think that most women, I should say, have a helicopter pilot, in their mind.
Yeah, I mean,
I helicopter in front of my woman all the time.
Yeah.
Very good.
See, the thing with the helicopter, which confuses me, is like, I'm familiar with the airplane when you're standing up. To spin while laying down requires a lot of core strength, Rob. So good for you.
See, what I do is I tie it to the fan, the ceiling fan.
Oh, okay.
It just goes and goes. Yeah, there's a lot of blood.
Oh my God.
Rob's penis is inside out, everybody.
I have a prolapsed dick.
Good Lord.
So when this part hits in the movie, isn't a prolapsed dick just vagina, I guess? I don't know. So. We're talking about a kid's movie. I forgot.
Can we please move on?
In the part when her core memories go down and she loses those two emotions, in my brain, I went, if this doesn't get fixed stat, this kid's gonna be the pinnacle of a Netflix documentary. This is the makings of a narcissist serial killer, which made me think like, I kind of would love to see a dark version of Inside Out where it starts out with like a young Jeffrey Dahmer and we see what the fuck went on and what because things are breaking and shattering and collapsing. And in my mind, that is the line of a psychotic break. And I know she's just a child and this is like a small thing, but like, what if those didn't get fixed? And it was just fear, disgust, and anger forever for the rest of it. Those, what if they collapsed into the pit and they disappear? And like that to me was like, could turn real dark.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Riley, we noticed you were skinning the cat.
Yeah.
Wanted to talk to you about that one.
I'm so frustrated. I just want to pull the wings off bugs. Oh, man.
The dad tries to cheer up Riley, and we see Goofball Island get destroyed. Sir, a second plane has hit Goofball Island.
Very good.
Yeah.
We meet mine workers. They're getting rid of faded memories. This gum jingle bit is very funny.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes we send it up for no reason.
Yeah, and they're like, it's you son of a bitch.
I felt personally attacked by this scene. And my wife, who watched the movie with me, because we I was like, I have to watch this movie. And she was like, oh, I'm so excited. I was like, just so you know, I have to make fun of it. Like sometimes she'll like get to me. She'll like, you can watch this with me, but you can't say mean stuff. I'm like, all right. But this one, I was like, they have like maybe 20 to 40 of these that they'll just send up, and it doesn't go back down as quickly as the other ones. Like it'll hover there for days, and new ones get created. So that I feel like this is one of those things they're like, they throw these types of things in for like more adults. Cause like, I feel like kids wouldn't, they're like, what do you mean? Though we don't have those as much. Like they don't have as many small memories that resurface for no reason whatsoever.
Right. I also feel like there's not that many jingles anymore.
That's true.
Because there's so many ads now that like you get most people nowadays, or kids especially, they get their ads on like YouTube or Instagram, and like there's not the time for a jingle because you get that skip button or you just fast forward. So they're not going to have these jingles that get lodged in their head from watching television for hours on end.
Yeah. Seeing the same commercial over and over again. They know. My nephew, who is 2 years old, knows how to skip the ad on YouTube. Like, if you're picking up like Coco Melon or whatever they're watching to distract him for a bit, like he knows. He's like, we wait a few seconds and we hit the skip button.
I mean, I know what resurfaces in my head a lot is who you calling a lint liquor. Cootie Queen. What the French toast? That's a great commercial. That's probably
great.
The best commercial of all time.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I think commercials are the purest form of art. I think they're the only true form of art left in media.
There are for sure some that I remember, like one, there was like, I think it was, I can't remember what beer, but it was a beer commercial, and the guy like stocks up his fridge and then like hits a button and the fridge rotates and like hides behind like a false wall or something.
Yeah.
And then it just pans to the apartment next to him, and it's a bunch of bros just like, the magic fridge is back, and they're just like taking all the beer and like that's like, yeah, there was an art to commercials. I feel like, again, it goes with this, like they don't have as much play with that anymore, because a commercial used to be like there was like 30-second commercials and there's 60-second commercials, I believe, typically. And I used to work very briefly in radio advertising, and that was like the block. It was maybe a 15-second quick one, but like 30 or 60 seconds, and there was a lot of jingles involved in, in radio used to be pretty heavily in jingles and stuff.
I'm not going to finish it because I'm not going to give them the fucking sponsor.
Damn
it! Give us money!
No, someone just popped. They're like, oh, pop that one up. Good idea. Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah. You can, I mean, I think of so many that we could just run through.
Oh, yeah. So we meet Bing Bong, Riley's imaginary friend, and he's going to take them to Imagination Land. Is Imagination Land the place from South Park? Am I wrong?
There is an Imagination Land. Yeah, Imagination.
Yeah.
Imagination.
I thought I was going crazy. They're going to take the train to headquarters, and they have to walk through Abstract Thought. I think Abstract Thought looks awesome.
Yeah.
It is. It's a bananas concept for a kid's movie, but very, very cool.
I think for the kids, you're going, look at these shapes and colors, kiddies.
Yeah. I feel like this is an interesting... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I just love how they get out of it when she goes, guys... with 2D, just fall down.
Right.
Yeah. I like how also like what starts that is like she's sitting at lunch in school alone, and she's about to just start contemplating loneliness, like the concept of loneliness. Because that's what the workers say. They're like, oh, she's about to contemplate loneliness. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
The Abstract Thought is... it's probably one of the cooler spots. And I would love, again, to me, just like when we get to the teenage one, if this is the sequel, the third one should be like college years where maybe some weed and some drug, whatever. And then that Abstract Thought thing just like ruptures.
Yeah. Her friend Samantha starts looking a little too good.
Yeah.
we're in Imagination Land, and Bing Bong kills a man.
What? Did I miss
yeah,
that?
Cloud Man.
Yeah, he kills a
Oh, that's
Cloud
right.
Man.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
totally just like erases Cloud Man.
Yeah, unalives.
Yeah.
Because then later on, they kill his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the Cloud Cop going, that's Cloud Town.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Bing Bong decided to be forgotten so he wouldn't go to jail for murder.
Yeah. Like,
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Can't arrest me if I don't exist.
We saw a sad moment, but what you didn't see is on like farther down the cliff was just a bunch of police officers waiting for Bing Bong to make it back up to the top.
How about the imaginary boyfriend from Canada?
That's funny.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff. It's like, I would die for Riley.
That feels like the one thing that I mean, I guess she could do imaginary boyfriends at that age. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
12.
Yeah.
12.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That was I liked the just replicating him and just having him a bunch of them to like make that bridge and stuff was very funny.
Yeah, and then they all just go, oh, Dr. Riley.
Yeah.
Bing Bong sees workers destroying parts of Imagination Land, including his rocket. And then
Mhm.
sadness helps Bing Bong feel better. And that's when we see Joy start to realize, oh, maybe sadness can be useful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's only like she doesn't. That's the thing. Joy's trying to change emotion, where sadness is just like, you could be sad. I'll just listen.
Yeah.
And that's like, hey, that's maybe all people need sometimes.
Yes.
Don't try and change it. Just like listen to what they have to say.
Because she loves that. We see that earlier on, where she's like, oh, maybe that's that great movie when the dog dies.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Jesus. I have a question. How come the emotions or the memories only seem to change color when sadness touches them? Because when fear touches a memory, we don't see it turn purple. When anger touches the memory, it doesn't turn red.
That's true.
Okay. I think this goes back to what we were saying, the outside stimulus. Fear is touching it, but there's no fear on the outside, so it's not altering the memories in a
Okay.
sense. So I
Sure.
think the reason why sadness is because this is like the first point in her life where she's really truly feeling sadness, and it is altering those memories, right? Being
Yeah.
home playing hockey is no longer a joyful memory because it's not there anymore. So that goes to like the outside stimulus is actually controlling the emotions, kind of what Andy was saying.
So it's almost like when we see sadness walking through long-term memory and she's just touching all the bottom memories, she's almost drawn to it, almost zombie-like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so. She like
I think-
has to. It's almost a way. I don't know why they kept all of those ones on the bottom shelf, but you know, it just happens to be Chia because she's just touching in a line. But yeah, I think that's like that. She's so drawn to those memories because they have to change.
I'm drawn to memories, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Very good.
Nice.
Anger suggests Riley run away to Minnesota. And then we see Joy, Bing Bong, and Sadness go to Dream Studios. I have another question. I understand Bing Bong can't read. Joy and Sadness should be able to. We watched Sadness read a textbook.
Right.
We've seen Joy read. They should both be able to read these signs.
Mhm.
You can't read in your dreams. That's like a thing.
But earlier on, before they even go to the dreams, remember when they walk into abstract thought and they read the sign that says danger, keep out?
Right.
Bing
Right.
Bong goes, oh, cool. It says,
DANGER. Shortcut.
yeah, shortcut. It's like, yeah, I get he can't read, but one of them should be like, that's not what that says.
Oh, that's
I mean,
what you're
that-
talking about.
Didn't Sadness
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah.
She was like, I don't think we should go in there.
She did, but neither one of them says, that doesn't say shortcut. That says,
Yeah. I think they're just like, that's okay. That's all right, buddy. You did your best.
Do you think they made a movie not expecting me to ask the hard-hitting questions
Listen,
9 years later?
they need more movies need people with overactive analytical brains to do this, because this is why I'm really bad to watch movies with, because I will be like, this doesn't make sense at all. This like doesn't track, whatever. Like I find that weird shit of like, no one thought about this or whatever.
I didn't think about that. Laura thought of that, and she asked me that question.
Okay, well, she's, but it definitely makes sense. There's always many plot holes where they're just like, people won't question this, but people will. But I guess it's almost impossible to like make everything airtight.
There's not a lot of plots that are airtight. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the age of 30-year-old white men with podcasts. We're going to question kids' movies.
Hell
Definitely.
yeah, brother.
That's what we do.
Always.
Also, missed opportunity. They should have called the Dream Studio Dream Theater. That's
maybe that's the dad's dream. It's Dream
sure.
Theater.
He's really into prog rock.
Yeah. Yep.
We get this nightmare scene. This is really cool. I love the dog ripping in half.
Yeah. I liked how Fear's reactions watching it. He's like, pick a plot.
Yeah. When it starts getting all over the place. Yeah.
But it's also so predictable. He's like, oh, let me guess. Now she's not wearing pants. Okay. Yeah. And then they see him and he's just like cuddled. Like, oh, there was a dog and it was trying to eat itself.
Yeah.
When it gets like real screwed up, like for sure. Because that also very relatable of like, oh, it's like, all right, it's a weird dream. This is and then like when things get spinny and just like so abstract that your brain can't handle it. Yeah.
Spooky.
So they all get locked in a prison of fears or something as a punishment for rooting the dream shoot. They wake up Jangles the clown to scare Riley awake, which
I just real quick, the guards who are guarding, they're arguing over the hat. He's like, that's my hat.
Yeah.
What's it say there? And he's like, it says my hat. He's like, I wrote that in my hat. He's like, no, it doesn't matter whose hat it. Like that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that was great.
So funny. It was a good dynamic.
Yeah.
Something the reviewer said early on is like, oh, and scary clowns, how could they do that? It's like, that's a trope in every movie ever, that clowns are scary to children. What are you complaining about, psychopath?
Yeah. There's so much scary stuff in so many movies. Yeah. Like, I don't know, Toy Story has like moments where like the toys are, there's ones where there's toys. Like the whole toys that are like the heads are ripped off and put over other bodies. Like there's always some kind of stuff like that. I thought this was super minimal when it came to like,
this is tame.
I think the dog thing was more scary and startling than the clown.
Because what was stunning to me about the dog thing is they actually show like a cartoon dog rip in half, and like you see like the meat kind of
like the meat and the bone, like the classic, because everyone's just made of a singular bone and just meat on the outside. Like that's how we're all put together. There definitely wouldn't have been like see, if it was like the adult version, it would be like intestines and all that stuff. And then in the Jeffrey Dahmer version, he would eat all those.
He'd cook them and eat them.
He'd eat one of the students,
and it wouldn't be a dream. It wouldn't be a nightmare. It would be
it would be
a dream.
Reality.
And then reality.
Reality.
Jangles breaks in, causes Riley to wake up, and then we see Anger put the idea bulb in to run away. I do like the light bulbs as representation of the ideas. That's how they give her ideas.
Yeah. I like how they get on the train because they needed to wake her up to get the train of thought moving again.
Mm-hmm.
And they get on the train and he knocks over a box and it's like, what's that? Oh, facts and opinions. They all go in the same box. I was like, that's a good joke.
Yeah,
that's a good
joke. That was like, definitely. That's another like, here's a little one for more like kids don't really
they're not
get
gonna
that,
get
but
that.
Like that's an adult joke, a clean adult joke. That's always fun. My thing with this is like they put a lot of faith in the fact that she wasn't going to just fall immediately back to sleep, and then the train was just gonna be stuck in the middle of the pit. Because like, I don't know how many times you wake up and then just fall right back to sleep, sometimes back into the nightmare. It was like a bold because that was a long train ride.
That's
that they ended up not making anyway. But
that's true.
there is a sense of like at least that I got of like actual like stakes in this movie. Like when the islands collapse, the way they do it, it's like harrowing. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Like that's part of her personality and it's just gone. And then like they fall like what just happens, the train of thought collapses and they fall into the pit. And it's like
we fell into the pit.
Nice. But like they fall and it's like how are they going to get out of here? It's good. It's just good, like good harrowing storytelling and good writing, you know?
And that's why I felt like that whole premise of like, oh, if they don't put this back together, this girl's going to be a problem to society. Because like that was like really what made me think of like, and you see her start to like really get like dead behind the eyes in a way.
Yeah,
like
she runs away, you know, and
Yeah.
like as a 12-year-old, running away is a huge fucking deal.
Yeah.
And in Tom's version, the dark version, they're in class. Let's meet our new student, Casey Anthony.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Honesty Island collapses as Riley steals her mom's credit card. And then, I love this, Joy's like, hey, Sadness, you could stay here. I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was a little weird. She's just like, stay here. Don't go anywhere.
Because
Like-
she's still like, hey, I know you made Bing Bong feel better, but you're gonna ruin Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't get it yet.
Still doesn't get it yet. Yeah, that was a kind of a dick move on Joy's part, to be honest. Very selfish, but
Yeah.
But I do like that Joy's always thinking, like everything Joy does is driven by the what's best for Riley. And even though she's wrong, she's going, all I want is for Riley to be happy.
sure.
Right, but and the lesson she learns is in order to be happy, you need sadness. Like, because I had a kid ask me, like, in the beginning of the year, he was like, "Why do we feel sad?" And I was like, "Wow,
Oh, that's only for the week."
You feel sad?
I said, like, we wouldn't know happiness if it weren't for sadness. You know, like,
It's true.
how do you even know what happiness is if you don't know what sadness is? They coexist, you know, and you see when she gets that core memory that turns sad, or she has the happy core memory and she rewinds it, and at first it's sad, and then
Right.
her family comes and they listen to her,
Right.
and it becomes happy, and that's where she's like, "Oh, I done goofed."
Yeah.
I think that's verbatim what she said.
The core memories are triggered by something, and
Right.
that something doesn't necessarily have to be joy.
Exactly.
You know.
Joy, oh yeah, she left sadness behind. The two breaks, Joy and Bing Bong fall into the void, and they're in forgotten memories. Joy looks at a sad memory, and it's the team. Okay, the team is lifting Riley up after a game. And then they reveal that they lost the game because Riley missed the big shot. Why would her team be lifting her up like that if she missed the big shot?
Maybe she made a big shot earlier in the game, and that's when they lifted her up, and then the other team caught up, and then she
The team caught up because they were too busy carrying her, celebrating her on the ice.
Yeah.
They're like, nobody's guarding the net.
She's like, put me down, put me down.
I'm wondering if the core memory here is not like, it's not a positive memory about happiness, about hockey. It's a positive memory about supportive friends, I think is what
there you
really, because I think they're like, oh, she's sad. She feels really bad right now, but it's just a game. So let's go make sure she knows that we still love her. I think like that's more what it comes down to. But I agree. In the beginning, you're like, why would they do that? She blew it.
Dude,
like,
this is some Lex Luger at SummerSlam shit. Fucking, he doesn't even win the title, and they're celebrating with him on his shoulder and shit.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like Rocky.
very Rocky 1.
Yeah, Rocky 1.
You lost.
Previous
Calm down.
episode. Check it out.
Because, like, I feel like this is the difference between sports now and, like, when we were kids. Like, I played baseball for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, if you made an error and it cost your team the game in the last inning, or if you were pitching and you got shelled and blew like a 3-run lead in the last inning, yeah, you might have a guy come up to you and be like, "Hey, man, it's all right."
Yeah.
But your team's not going to be lifting you up on their shoulders to be like, "Yay!" Because the other team's going to be like, "We won. What the fuck are they celebrating about?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good way to get in their head.
Cuckoo
I guess.
Nutso's over there I know this is an audio. I did the crazy person swirl around my ear on video here.
They even do a bit where everybody gets a trophy and Sadness, she's like, I got a participation
That
award.
was so
that was
funny.
Well, we got to talk about Bing Bong.
Yes.
Bing Bong is the unsung hero.
I mean, Richard Kind, excellent. Absolutely crushing it.
I love Richard Kind. He's
excellent in everything. But, you know, they're in the pit of forgotten everything. And they're like, oh, shit, the rocket. So they get the rocket. And you got to sing the song to make the rocket go. And so they get in the cart. They get on like a big hill. And they sing the song. And they try to get... And they get close twice.
Yeah.
And Bing Bong is noticing that he's disappearing. And he's like... The fucking moment, you know it's going to happen. But he's like, let's try one more time. I think I got a good feeling about this one. Right there, I was like, fuck. Am I going to cry something rotten?
And knowing he's going to jump, he starts telling her, sing loud. Sing as loud as you can.
Yeah. Oh, my fucking God, dude.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
You know, it's definitely... And then, like, they show him, like, fade, right? Like, they just...
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, he rolls off and the music crescendos. And I'm like, fuck me. Running in the rain, brother.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the... But, like, I know it's sad, but it's also, like, one of those... Like, you would see that in a heroic type of movie of, like, someone making the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. And it's sad, but it also, like, it also gives me, like, good job, Bing Bong. Like, Riley may forget you, but we will never forget you.
Right. And also, like, he knew it's an inevitability because, like, she made you up when she was like 2.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess the one thing that's kind of weird though is like, but the emotions remember him. So did they also forget Bing Bong when he disappeared?
Well, I'm wondering, remember we see the memories, like, they gradually fade?
Yeah.
So I would imagine Bing Bong is kind of like that because he's just kind of walking around in long-term memory. Yeah. So it might be one of those things where at this age, something might trigger Riley's memory and she might remember Bing Bong, but he's never in the forefront of her mind.
No, never. Yeah.
So, like, him going away like that, like, did you guys ever have imaginary friends when you were little?
Not that I remember.
I don't think I had imaginary friends, but one thing I was thinking about is, like, for those memories, those long-term memories that start to fade, they can definitely become unfaded and reignite. Because I'm wondering, like, is it possible for a forgotten memory to be thought of? Because, like, a very weird example is I used to have this scratch and sniff book when I was a kid, right? And you go and you do the strawberry, you do this and that. And then there was one that was like, it looked like charcoal and it smelled, I remember it distinctly. It was the most horrid smell that I hated it so much. And I hated doing it when I would get to that one. Cut to years later, I'm in college, right? And I'm working for Bath and Body Works. And I was just a man working at Bath and Body Works. I'm like, well, I don't know anything about lotions. I'm just going to sell the candles. And I'm smelling the candles. And I pick up this candle called Fireside. And I pick it up and I smell it. And I slam the lid and I put it down. I go, oh my God. And like, it raced my brain back to that scratch and sniff book of like, that's that fucking smell that I hate. And like, it was weird because it like really lit up a memory that like I thought for sure was forgotten. So it's a very like deep, interesting thought of like, can those memories become reignited? I could, you know, my brain thinks it was like deep in the shelf in the long-term memories, I guess, and hadn't faded yet. And now I can never forget that I have that memory.
Yeah, I mean, memories are tied to senses. So, like, you'd sense, smell, hearing, like shit like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe, I mean, I hope they don't bring back Bing Bong because this is excellent. And if they bring him back, it diminishes it.
There's no way Bing Bong can come back.
No.
The only way, you know what's going to happen in the second movie if they want to bring it back? Because the parents can always just say to her, do you remember your imaginary friend Bing Bong?
Yeah, that's true.
And then it's plausible. And you're right, they shouldn't do it.
No.
But because of this universe and the kind of movie we're watching,
right?
Yeah,
it's very plausible and easy for them to bring back Bing Bong as a memory because that's all it would take.
But if she doesn't remember it, then say like, do you remember your imaginary friend Bing Bong? She would just say, no, I don't. And then be like, oh, you used to have an imaginary friend Bing Bong. You used to play around. And then you'd be like, oh, crazy.
But then the mom would, or dad would say something like, oh, you used to run around singing this song. And eventually the memory would get triggered, I'd imagine.
Yeah, the song might trigger the memory because, like we said, it's linked to senses.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of with you. I feel like they shouldn't if there is a sequel, they shouldn't do that. You know, this is I think it just kind of almost soils the sacrifice that Bing Bong made.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You're in agreeance.
Well, she makes it up there and she looks back. She's like, Bing Bong, we did it. And then you hear Bing Bong cheering from the pit.
Yeah.
She looks down and he's like, hey, make sure you make Riley happy, you know? And I'm like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah, it's brutal. Riley's parents come home and they can't find her. They call her, she ignores them, and then we see Family Island collapse.
Oh no.
Riley gets on the bus. Her phone keeps ringing. Put your phone on silent, honey. You're getting on a public bus.
Yeah,
she's
very
12.
rude.
She don't know.
No, 12-year-olds know to put their phone on silent.
Hey, when I was 12, I didn't have a phone.
Yeah, me neither. But I taught 12-year-olds with phones, and they kept their phone on silent.
Yeah, they keep their own phone on silent. I don't think I ever, like, I'm a paranoid person, so I'm like, oh, if someone calls me in the night, I want to be able to hear it because it's probably an emergency or whatever. Like, the moment I wake up, my phone goes on vibrate or silent. Like, I got a new phone and I didn't, and like I heard the ringtone for the first time and it scared me. I was like, the fuck is that?
Dude, my phone is on Do Not Disturb from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. every single night. If you die between those hours, I'll find out in the morning.
Cool. Good.
Nothing I can do.
Well, if I die, how am I gonna call you?
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, nothing you can do.
So I have a little bit of a nitpick.
Okay.
Sure.
Pick that. The whole problem is we need to get back to HQ, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole journey. And once Joy finally understands sadness's importance, they just immediately figure that out. Like, she just prints a whole bunch of boyfriends from Canada. She makes a bridge, and they do it, and that's it. And like, I get it's about the journey. It's not about the destination, yada, yada, yada. It's just like, they just figured it out. Okay. Like, we just had this whole journey. Could have done this the whole time. But she learned the lesson she needed to learn, so we got to get back to HQ right now. But,
maybe just like trying to be like, oh, the pressure
story's over.
Catalyze the.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of like, it's done. Like, we learned the lesson. Let's wrap this up. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
She just ditches her too. Like the food thing, she's just like, goodbye, fuck off.
Yeah.
Inside Trout.
Okay.
I think you already did that one. Did you?
Did I?
Oh, maybe not.
I did Inside Kraut before.
Oh, Kraut. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question. Do you think a spin-off based on sadness would be called Inside Pout?
Well, the anger spinoff would be Inside Shout.
Yes.
That's good. That's good stuff.
And then I think I said it before, but Fear would probably be Inside Doubt, which was okay. So then what would be Disgust?
Inside
sauerkraut.
Yeah. I like sauerkraut though.
I like sauerkraut.
Inside
too.
sauerkraut is
Inside. Oh wait, I think
Hitler's
someone
thing.
said it before, but inside gout for Disgust because that's just
There you
gross.
go.
gross.
Yeah,
Inside gout. Yeah, inside
yeah,
gout. Okay, cool.
Inside without.
Oh, sadness.
Joy and sadness get back to headquarters as the bus pulls away. Sadness saves the day, and Riley gets off just before the freeway isn't that lucky.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Questions. What is the role of it? Like, if you're a bus driver and a child by themselves gets on the bus with a backpack and shit, is there no like are there rules? Are you allowed to say something? Because I would have been like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, especially because there's not like a parent seeing them off.
Yeah,
Right.
and like I get it, when I was I used to take the ferry like to Connecticut to visit family, or they drop me off on the ferry, then someone picks me up. But yeah, I feel like there was like a feeling, but like I feel like a child getting on a bus, standing at the bus station by themselves
Yeah.
with a backpack.
Yeah.
I'm like, this kid's running away from home.
Yeah.
You have to
Clearly.
know. It's
I would have been
pretty
like,
obvious.
oh, it's mandatory, like for you because you're under a certain age. I just need to know your home address before I bring you to a different destination, and then just drop them off at their house and be like, your kid is trying to run the fuck away.
Yeah,
I don't know, like,
This
and
kid
then
has
letting
a
them get
bandana-
off right before the highway. That is not a bus stop,
Yeah.
right? They
Yeah.
just
Because
like stop
that's the
the
thing.
bus.
If the little
Yeah.
child runs up and goes, please stop, you stop that fucking bus right
Yeah,
now.
I'd stop the bus for sure.
You
But I'm
call
not
the
gonna let her out.
police.
This is fucking San Francisco under a free. There's heroin addicts under there
Yeah.
with knives.
Yeah, no,
right? I was in Vegas and I wouldn't walk under. There was one overpass. I would not walk under it. I was like, that's where I get hepatitis and die.
You pull over to the side and say, I'm sorry, rest
Yeah.
of the passengers, there is a scared child.
Yeah.
The police are coming.
150%. Yeah,
That's what you do.
irresponsible bus driver.
You don't go, all right,
Crazy.
kid, get the fuck out.
All
Yeah.
right.
That was definitely not a responsible adult driving that bus.
No. Well, I found I was teary-eyed for the rest of the movie. Honestly, after Bing Bong, I was just like, man, I'm sitting in the sadness because, like, even when because she goes home, she goes back home, and they're like, oh my God, where were you? And that's where she just tells them, like, I'm sad.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man, I'm sad too.
Yeah.
And I like how the mom and dad are both like, yeah, we miss Minnesota too. Like, this actually kind of sucks, but like, hey, we're together. And it's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's all we really need.
That true mix. When it first mixes, you're like, cool. I feel like I was like, cool. Yeah.
I liked how like they like every character just watching that core memory, that's the mixture drop, and they're all just looking at it in like amazement. They're like, what? That can happen? Like,
Mhm.
it's just good. Like classic Pixar. They do it with the eyes, they do it with the music, the acting. It's just like excellent.
I can't wait for the puberty sequel when it's like horniness and disgust mixed together.
I feel like
I
you
just
don't
watched
get
my
that
first
until...
pornographic video and then just disgust and like,
Yeah. I think that's the
shame.
That's the post
the post nut
orgasm.
memory.
Yeah, that's where you're like, what am I
guys,
doing?
we are talking about children.
We're talking about a
That's
different
true.
version. We're talking
about
about the
ourselves, really. We're talking
we're talking about
ourselves.
ourselves.
Have you seen the meme where it's like they've cut guilt and shame out of the sequel, and someone goes, "Release the Catholic cut."
Yeah.
We see the Emotions get a brand new console. Riley goes back to playing hockey. Her parents are happy. And then we see the credits roll, and we see all different people's emotions. I like the doggy and the kitty.
Hooray! I liked how
funny.
the dad and mom painted their faces, and he's like in his head, he's like, I fucking told you she'd be down. And then it goes to her head, and she's like, I am so fucking down. Like, I love this man. I'm gonna fuck him when we get home.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's essentially what it says.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think a lot of women have those moments of like seeing their significant other be like warm and supportive to someone else they love. Like, I don't have kids, but when like you're a good cat dad, like my wife will just look at me, she's like, look at you, you're so sweet with our little fur baby and stuff, and she starts to melt, and you kind of know, you're like, all right, cool, I'm kind of killing it right now.
yeah. Like as soon as I started teaching and like telling my wife about how I'm interacting with these kids, like she's like, wow, I didn't know that about you. I didn't know you were
nurturing,
like a warm person. I thought you were a piece of shit, you fucking pile of shit. I'm like, okay.
I was really thinking about divorce, but not anymore. So good job.
We were hanging on by a thread, you fucking useless pilot. Dog dick.
No.
Jesus, wife. That's her name. Her name's Wife.
Okay. Would you guys like to go to Letterboxd?
Sure does.
Well, I'm on Letterboxd. You could follow us on Letterboxd at TheRoydsBand. Tom, are you on Letterboxd?
No. I don't know what this is.
It's a movie review app.
Oh, no.
I really like this movie.
Same. This is very good.
Yeah.
It's like smart. It's a very smart movie.
Yeah. I kind of want to say it's a 4-star movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go for it. I'd go 4.5.
I'll go 4.5.
I'm
okay
in that
with
range. I go 4.5.
Because like it's. I feel like this should be part of. You guys know SEL, social emotional learning.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that.
I think that this should be part of that curriculum. Like kids at a certain age should watch this movie.
You know what's very confusing?
What?
You can't have an ESL and an SEL.
They changed ESL.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck me then.
It was ELL, and then now it's MLL.
Oh, you're right.
Learners.
English language. Yes, they did change it. Okay. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Multiple. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, I kind of agree. I think I feel like even as an adult, I was like, yeah, it is okay to feel like multiple emotions at once. Cause I think a lot of us, and I struggle with emotions and clarity and just a lot of things. And it does kind of make you feel almost like anthropomorphizes emotions in like your brain of like, oh, okay. Like I could see how I am this way because my emotions are fighting to take control or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think it is a very deep movie that has a good message.
Yeah, I agree.
Children
and
emotions are normal.
Emotions are normal, and you're allowed to feel them. Yeah.
I have 4 trivias.
Yeah, let's get to that. See, that's how you know it's a good movie, because it makes you think about life. Like generally, it's a good movie, guys, and that's why we rated it 4 stars.
We rated it 4.5 stars, actually.
4.5 stars, Robbie.
How many trivias you got?
I got 4, Robbie. I wish you'd stay on track.
I got 2.
All right, Andy, you want to go first?
Yeah, according to the director, Pete Docter.
More like Paul Nurse.
It became a real cough. Sorry.
But it's spelled Nirse. Because the doctor is spelled... go ahead.
Yeah, there's no second O. I understand what you're doing. All right. According to the director, Pete Docter, each emotion is based on a shape. Joy is based on a star. Sadness is based on a teardrop. Anger is based on a fire brick. Fear is a raw nerve. And disgust is based on what shape? Is it...
First of all, what the fuck is a fire brick?
I don't know. I asked that same question.
Okay.
All right. Disgust is based on what shape? Is it boogers, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, or barf?
Rob.
Yes.
Broccoli.
Correct.
Broccoli Rob.
I don't like broccoli Rob.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
You know what you got to do? You got to put it on chicken cutlet.
No thanks.
One of
I'm
those
not going to
things-
ruin my chicken cutlet.
It's one of those things that needs like garlic and oil and basically
Yes.
everything you can. Fun. So a fire brick is what people like a starter brick, like when you start a fire
Yeah.
and you light it and it like causes the that's what
Okay.
a fire brick is.
Dude
Firebox
couldn't have just
bricks.
said square.
Yeah.
An angry square.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
What does Joy tell Fear is just a myth? So at one point, Fear reveals that Joy told him that something is a myth. Is it tidal waves, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes?
Andy. Tornadoes.
No.
Tom, earthquakes.
Tom. It is earthquakes, yes. Because they moved to San Francisco.
Right. San Francisco.
Sam Clam's Disco.
That's really good. Is it Tom's turn or my turn?
Tom, go ahead, ask a trivia.
Sure. So, apparently, from my minimal Google searching, the writers considered 27 different emotions for the inclusion of the film,
Jesus.
but only settled for 5. Which out of these 4 was not one of the considered emotions? Surprise, trust, pride, or jealousy? Was
Andy.
not considered one of the emotions, so 3 of them are.
Andy. Jealousy.
That is correct.
She's a Lou.
Oh, yeah. You know how I knew that?
How?
My next question is how many emotions were originally going to be included?
I already gave away that answer. It's 27.
Yes,
My
you
bad.
did. It's 27. I'm very happy that they narrowed it down to 5.
It's
Oh,
very
That's 2
tough
good characters.
to ask questions without reviewing them, but then we can't answer them. So it's like
Yeah.
What is the name of Riley's history textbook? History of the world, history of America, history of our people, history of history.
Andy.
Andy.
History of history.
It is history of history.
Interesting.
That's what it's. I paused it. I was like, what the fuck it say history of history?
Well.
And then there's a subtitle.
Right. Instead of sadness, which emotion was going to take the journey with joy? Was it anger, fear, or disgust?
Rob.
Andy.
Fear.
It was fear. Yeah.
I was gonna say
they
fear,
thought
yeah.
they thought
Fear
that
would
would be the funnier duo.
Yeah, anger would have been like running into everything head first. It kind of actually anger would have been pretty funny because like
Oh
just-
yeah.
Yeah.
probably
I
would have got
just-
so pissed off at Bing Bong the whole time and just
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, I think if she took the journey with any other emotion, she wouldn't have learned the lesson that you need. Like, what is it going to be? You need fear. Like, what kind of lesson are we teaching?
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you see
Right.
a bear, run, play dead.
Yeah.
You know, like, what kind of lesson we learn?
Fear will keep you alive.
It will, but like, this isn't like a, what to do in the woods movie. This is a how to deal with your emotions movie.
Cool.
Tom, what's your next question?
All right, this is my next and last question. So this goes back. This was the one that we kind of almost touched on. So apparently, some parts of this film change depending on where you see it. So for example, in Japan, kids actually really like broccoli. So they changed the broccoli to a different food. Was it spinach, carrots, green peppers, or tomatoes?
Rob. Tomatoes.
That is incorrect.
Andy, green peppers.
Green peppers is correct.
Wow,
Interesting.
Yeah,
I
pretty
like
cool.
green
man.
peppers.
So do I.
Yeah, I like
liked-
green peppers too.
I liked all the things you mentioned, actually.
Yeah. Apparently, also just a little tag on fun fact with that. Apparently, in different areas too, Riley's dad will either fantasize about hockey or football. Now, it does not specify if it's European football. I'm assuming that's what they mean.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's
Yeah.
soccer.
I think it's probably soccer in
Because
like Europe and
everyone-
stuff like that.
everyone in America is familiar with hockey.
With both hockey and football. So I'm assuming that's what they meant by that it's probably European football. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
What is the name of the pizza place in San Francisco? Yeast of Eden, Yeastern Delights, Yeast and West, Yeast Confection.
Andy. Yeast and West.
No.
Tom, Yeast Confection.
No.
Andy. What was the first one?
Yeast of Eden or Yeastern Delights?
Yeast of Eden.
Yes, Yeast of Eden.
Yeah.
Wow. Weird one. I thought it would be called shit pizza because it's not New York pizza. No,
got him.
Got him. Inside.
Spout.
Spout.
Inside, short and stout.
Very good.
That's what my wife says.
Nice. I wrote a song.
I have another trivia.
Oh shit! Well,
don't you? Oh, didn't you have
still
4?
Stands. No, I had 3. Still stands. I did write a song.
Did I ask this question already? What state did the moving van accidentally go to?
Andy. Texas.
It is Texas. Yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
All right. I also wrote a song.
Let's hear those tunes, boys.
All right,
Flip that pick, Robbie.
All right, here we go. Call it.
All right, Tom, call it.
Hit the fucking microphone.
Let's go with Andy first.
Oh, okay, Andy, you're up first.
Is that what you said? Tom, call it, right?
Yeah, call the pick flip. But this works way better.
Call the pick flip. So wait,
no,
what
but that doesn't work. He doesn't have a song.
No, doesn't make any sense. This
what the fuck am
works
I
way
doing?
better.
Do you want me to roll a d20 or something?
No, you didn't. You didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
No, Andy goofed, but I'm gonna go with what you did. Andy, you're up first now.
Okay, my song is called Sadness. And I repurposed an old song I had written a very, very long time ago. Robbie, you may be familiar with it.
Okay.
But I repurposed it for this, and it's called Sadness, and it goes just like this.
Oh, let's see if it plays. Apple Music, the music. There we go. We moved away from home, and now I feel alone, all alone. I don't know what to feel. Nothing here feels right. I can't look them in the eye. My oh my, I'm losing myself.
So that's my song, Sadness.
I liked it. I do recognize that.
Yeah, it's an oldie.
Oldie. It's good.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
It was
very sad.
I couldn't I was trying to I don't know. I rhymed bad and sad, and I don't feel great about that rhyme. It's just like, you know.
Hey, a baby's got to do what a baby's got to do.
Baby's first rhyme, baby. But yeah, I mean, it's about Riley. It's not really about the emotions, because I think, you know, it's obviously at its core, it's really about Riley. It's not about joy or sadness. It's about Riley. And yeah, it's a good movie.
I like that.
Well, thank you. Also, the guitar solo. I recorded all the music before the vocals. So like I played the guitar solo and I struggle. I played like for an hour and a half. I was playing that guitar solo. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, this is why I didn't want to do the song, because I was like, I'll spend 2 days on this.
I had fucking Lewis Black in my head the whole time, and
so
then I sang it, and I was like, oh, I was playing the solo in the wrong key. That's why I'm struggling with it. So I erased that guitar solo and played this one, which I'm still not thrilled with, but I was able to do it in like 2 takes because it's in the right key and it didn't sound weird or bad. But I still don't love it. Could be better. But yeah, that's my song. It's called Sadness.
I like the guitar solo.
Well, thanks. Robbie, tell us about your song.
My song is, so my thought was, hey, what if I wrote the Bing Bong song?
Nice.
So my song is called Bing Bong. And yeah, I just kind of was like, what if I wrote Bing Bong's little imaginary song? So it goes like this.
shout hooray, makes you want to celebrate. He's the one that you create, he's filled of imaginate, always making you feel safe. He will make a funny face, he will take you into space. He's as sweet as honey and his belly's soft as snow. Cotton candy elephant with a dolphin's bow. He's the one who always plays, he will make a funny face. Let me hear you say his name. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong.
Interesting.
Yeah, that one was really good. I was a little disappointed that you didn't have your class your old class record the gang vocals for the Bing Bong, because you said they shouted it.
Yeah.
Stop.
That was very, very good, Robbie. That's a
Yeah,
that's a
it's
10
good.
out of 10 track, brother.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Tugged at the heartstrings.
Yeah.
Thank you. I I don't know why. That's what I was like. That's what I feel like doing. I'm gonna write the Bing Bong song. I don't know if you guys heard it. One thing I did towards the end is I added cowbell in. Because mainly because I was playing on the drum setting on the MIDI, and I found the cowbell and I was like, I'm gonna throw some fucking cowbell in there.
Hell yes.
Yeah. But
Well,
thank
not
you.
only did that tug on the heartstrings, but it also tugged on the fart strings.
Very good, Andy.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank you.
Hey, Tom,
What's up?
thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, this was fun.
You
Yeah,
are
thank
welcome
you.
back anytime.
Cool. When's the sequel come out?
The sequel comes out. We're doing this to get on the algorithm for the sequel. So the sequel comes out probably a week after this comes out.
Oh, hell yeah. So we'll give it some time. Give it a little bit of a gap and let me know. We'll do the sequel together. I think that'll be
Yeah,
cool.
hell yeah. Hell
Dude,
yeah.
yeah,
brother.
more than welcome.
Yeah, let's do that.
The sequel comes out on June 14th, 2024.
All right. So let's I'll go I don't go to the movie theaters a lot. I'm just more of a sit at home comfort. I can pause it and, in the middle, but I will probably if we cuz it'll be a while, but yeah, let me know. I'll try to go see it in theaters and we'll do the sequel, and they better not bring back Bing Bong or we're going to have a fit.
I'll leave the
I mean-
theater.
Honestly, these movies go on Disney Plus like 6 weeks after they hit theaters. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fuck
we
that
could
then.
wait.
I don't want to go to
Yeah.
the movie theater. It's too
Yeah.
expensive. All right, end of summer. We'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Tom, do you have out your socials one more time? Let us know if you got any shows coming up.
Follow me at Tom DeCillis Comedy on Instagram. That definitely would be the best one. June 14th, I'm going to be at the Looney Bin in Little Rock, Arkansas. And then I don't have anything really local, but then July 19th and 20th, I'm going to be at Crackpot's Comedy Club in Massillon, Ohio.
Tom,
yeah.
we have downloads in all 50 states, so you don't have to worry about local.
Oh, I'm just letting the local people know.
Oh, okay. You're just telling people.
All of those people that have been screaming at the bits to see me perform at a bar on Long Island, I just wanted to let them know that I don't have anything on the books right now.
Okay.
It's detrimental. But yeah, if you're in the Looney Bin, I'm gonna be opening up for someone doing an album recording in Little Rock, and then the July ones are gonna be a lot of fun. It's 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. I'm headlining. Our very funny friend Devin Bramble is going to be opening for me. So yeah, if you're in the Massillon, Akron area of Ohio, come hang out, come say what's up.
What's the name of that club? Did you give the name of that club?
Crackpots Comedy Club
Crackpots,
in
okay.
Massillon, Ohio. It's the big one.
Awesome. Give those dates one more time.
All right, so that's June 14th, Friday, June 14th, Looney Bin, Little Rock, Arkansas. Friday, July 19th, and Saturday, July 20th, Crackpots Comedy Club, Massillon, Ohio.
Love it. So you're in those areas. You go see Tom DeCillis. He's very funny. See Devin Bramble too. He's also really funny.
Yeah.
And now here's my favorite thing to do. Hey Andy, what are we doing next week?
You son of a bitch, Robbie. Do you know?
Yes, I do.
So then fucking say it.
We're doing The Mask.
Oh,
The
shit.
Mask.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes, 1994's The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, we're finally out of franchise town.
Yeah, we're actually jumping into a bunch of 90s films looking at this.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm
Keep an
pretty
eye on
hyped for that.
Great.
Andy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
I was gonna. I have a closing statement.
Oh, please.
Inside, wear out.
That's good.
That's good. I still have to say the music and all that.
I know, but we can cut that. Just put it at the end.
I mean, you could say it again.
It's not okay. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Andy, where can they find our music? Nope. Yeah, you give the music. I give the socials. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. You go to Spotify, you go to Apple Music, you go to Deezer, wherever you get your music, and you can type in The Royds, and you'll find 2 albums and a Christmas song, but also you'll find several collections. At this point, we're at collection 8 of podcast songs. If you want all of the podcast songs, you could go to TheRoydsBandcamp.com, and you will find well over 200 songs, including guest songs. And that's pretty cool. Robbie, what about the socials?
You can go to Instagram. You can go to X. You can go to Threads. You can go to YouTube. You can go to TikTok for as long as it's still allowed. You can go to so many places, and you type in TheRoydsBand, and you will see our smiling faces.
Yeah.
Right? That's where they see our smiling faces.
I guess.
But you can also send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. You can listen to the podcast on YouTube, and if you are, leave a comment wherever you're listening. Give a 5-star review. That'll help. You can even write nasty things. Just give us 5 stars.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you. Next week, The Mask.
Inside, we're out.
Bye, everybody.
Incredible.